Welcome to the FNO InsurTech Podcast, a place where movers and shakers from all points within the insurance ecosystem gather and discuss all things InsurTech. Here are your hosts, Lee Boyd and Rob Beller.
Hey, Lee,
Hey, Rob.
you know what we're going to talk about today?
No, I'd love to know, though.
The 2024 Paris Olympics.
Okay.
You want to know why?
Everyone tunes into the InsurTech podcast to talk about that.
Well, Lee, this isn't our podcast.
Oh, that's right.
So, there.
This is just us chatting.
This is social chatting with
Yeah.
Rob and Lee.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can talk about whatever the heck we want to, including the Paris Olympics.
We can. You've been watching them?
Not as much as I'd like. I have, but not as much as I'd like. In fact, I went out and bought the top tier Peacock
Yeah.
thing. We had a lower tier Peacock thing, but I bought an upgraded one so that I wouldn't have any commercials. But guess what?
What?
It has commercials.
Well, it does. It has some commercials, but it doesn't have just random commercials.
Whatever.
But a lot of them are good commercials.
I felt really, I was like, wait a minute. I paid for premium plus yada, 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 yada. Why am I seeing commercials?
Yeah.
And their answer would probably be just like yours. Well, yeah, but you're seeing fewer.
Well, the problem is, even if you don't see them, then you just see the blank screen. The blank screen that says we're away at the
only
time.
but if something is live, I'm sure that there's a camera rolling.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, but there's not always. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
whatever the case, you want to know why we're talking about the Olympics today?
I do.
Because both you and I are like way into it. We're crazy about it.
We just right before this podcast we were talking about the swimming. We were watching a live swimming event.
Lee, this isn't a podcast.
Well, Al thinks it is.
No. In fact, look at the title. Rob and Lee Short Content Recording.
Right before our short recording or content recording, we were watching a swimming event.
Which one? Oh yeah, we were. We were watching the 800-meter freestyle men's final.
Men's final. It was great. It was a fun one. That's a great one. Yeah, I love the Olympics. Nothing motivates me more really in a workout world than the Olympics. I work out more during the Olympics than I ever work out.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It just kind of rejuvenates me, and it makes me want to be the best that I can. Not just on physical workouts, but at work, and reading, like my mind, everything. I just want to be the best I can, because you're looking at thousands of people who are the best at the best, and they work so hard to this.
The best in their country at something.
Yeah.
So two things. First, what got me switched on this year? First of all, I've always loved the Olympics. I've always enjoyed watching it through decades. I pretty much never missed it. It got wonky during COVID.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember. I'm old enough to remember 1972 Olympics when, which were in Munich,
Mm-hmm.
when the Israeli athletes were murdered.
Yeah.
During the Olympics, and so it can also be a place of tragedy and of great loss. But in general, it's always been curious to me, why do people love the Olympics? And here's my take.
Okay.
First of all, I think that there's something about love of country.
Yeah.
And I've thought a lot about love of country. Like, people give their friggin' lives, right? They go to war and die for their country.
Yeah.
It's a little wild. It's a crazy idea, right? It's not like because your family is in imminent danger. No, I mean, you get drafted or whatever and you go to war and die. That's the ultimate sacrifice for your country. So there's this innate natural connection that we have to country that's really hard to explain, right? Most people,
Yeah.
not everybody, most people love their country and love where they came from and identify themselves as such. I'm an American.
Right.
I'm an
Uh,
Italian. I'm
I'm
from
from
Thailand.
Ireland.
Right. And so that's one thing is this innate tie that we have to our
Yeah.
country.
I think I think that we also want other countries to do good. Like I never root against a country, right? And maybe it's
Well,
just
that's
me,
because you're weird.
but you're never going to root against, especially if it's a small little country who has 5 athletes here. Like you just want them to do I don't want them to do better than us, but I want them to do good, right? It's like the Jamaican bobsled team from Cool Runnings in the 90s. Like you want them all to do good. You want everyone to do good. You don't want anybody to not do good.
Yeah.
It's just all about humanity. It's a great time to support humanity and hope the best for everybody.
Okay. If you say so.
Do you cheer against people in the Olympics?
Yeah, anybody who's trying to, well, I know I only cheer for people.
You cheer for people, right? You're never
Right.
gonna cheer against. It's not like a soccer game or a football game where you're like,
Maybe the Russians
well, but they're not even there. They're
or
under
maybe
their own.
our enemies, right? But
Yeah.
in general, no, I I root for
You
typically.
root for the people. That's the beauty of the
I
Olympics. You
typically root
root
for
for,
the Americans.
unlike a football game where you're like, die opponent die. Here you're like, go team go. It's a very
But
positive.
you know what's interesting is, so my family background is Hungarian
Yeah.
and Czechoslovakia, which of course doesn't exist anymore. Ukrainian. Um, that's my background from
Okay.
that area of the world. And so if I'm watching a race or a event and that's who's competing, then ironically, I naturally
You naturally want them to.
root for the countries that I have some identification with. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I do. I do.
Is it like where are you from? Where's the Boyd? Is Irish, yes?
Yeah, yeah, we're from Scotland and England,
Uh-huh.
so the UK.
Okay. Okay. Um,
We
have you
actually
ever
date
traced
back to, no, go ahead.
have you ever traced back your roots?
We have. I did the, 23andMe,
Yeah.
but my grandma, for a project in school, she helped me do trace all the way back to Charlemagne
Oh my
on one
gosh.
side, and we track back to George Washington's wife's family somehow on my mom's side, and we have some horse thieves on my mom's side, and yeah, yeah.
I think everybody has some people that they're not real proud about.
There's history there. There's always a little bit of history.
I mean, we're humans, right? There's gonna be some bad apples.
Yeah, yeah. There's gonna be. But I think going back on your ancestry is really cool, especially at the time of the Olympics. To see what's really interesting is to see, what is there, 200 countries, 190 countries
Is that what it is?
competing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was 3.5 hours long, the opening ceremony, and it was just boat after boat after boat, and it was just fascinating at the number of countries.
It's also very interesting to me, like, as we speak here, as we record this, we're mostly on swimming now, or a lot of swimming,
Gymnastics,
gymnastics, swimming.
beach
But
volleyball.
swimming is frequently a very individual sport. I mean, you're
Mhm.
swimming by there are relays, but you're swimming by yourself.
Right.
And so it's interesting to me to watch the end of a swimming race because frequently, they'll swim under the lanes and, congratulate each other and hug
Y-
each other and
Yeah.
love on each other from different countries, right? The Italian guy and the French guy and the guy from South Sudan will all swim together and give each other a hug and everything like that. That I think that's one of the great things about the Olympics and about this particular um uh, competition is there's support for it's not like a beat down or a hate thing or I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna beat you up, I'm gonna
Right.
humiliate you. No, it's like we're all gonna do our very best, and the person who's the best of it at the world, theoretically, is gonna be declared the winner.
Right.
That's the ideal of it, right?
That's what
Is
it's all
awesome.
about.
Now, if you go to, like boxing is in the Olympics. I was watching some today. It's terrific. It's very exciting. Olympic boxing, I find very exciting.
I
You
do
go
too.
to a boxing match, and these guys are there in each other's face. There's a lot of drama and all this other
Yep.
stuff, but not at the Olympics. Same sport.
Yeah. It's a different mindset. It's a
It's
different world over, during the Olympics. It's all for good and support and
and
yeah.
I find that in the insurance industry,
Mhm.
I want to try to draw a parallel here. In
As you
the
should.
insurance industry, the competition is like that.
Like the Olympics?
Well, it's cooperative competition. I'm rooting for you. I want to win, but I'm rooting for you too. I'm rooting
Yeah.
for you to do good. And our experience, when you agree that our experience working with carriers is that nobody has ever said to me, I want to crush this carrier,
Nobody's
or I
ever
want
said
to,
that.
or I want, we want to take all the business at their expense,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying?
They've always wanted to be the best in the industry, but never at someone else's expense. Nobody ever says, "Hey, I hope they fail so we look great."
Right.
Now
I
we
hope they
deal on
fail
the
so I succeed.
we deal on the backside, but even on the sales side, right? It's for the greater good. Insurance, you
Uh-huh.
have to have a lot of people, you have to have a lot of companies. But I've never heard anybody ever say, "I hope so and so fails, that company fails. I want to put them out of business." You don't hear those things. Everything's for the good.
So what I'm saying really is that insurance is generally a pretty friendly environment.
Mhm.
Would you agree to that?
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like when we went to London last year and we met with, many people, it was welcoming and friendly and helpful. And how can I help you get a leg up?
The London experience was the most friendly, open, welcoming experience in the insurance market that I've ever been a part of. It
Mhm.
it was so welcoming, and people were willing to take meetings and be a part. I would say that was a great experience there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I really look forward to going back in part because of that,
Mhm.
right? And
When are
I'm
we going back?
and I'm hopeful about our going back and the results we can have because I think it's a helpful environment. I mean, it's very friendly
Mhm.
and like a closed society, but if you can find a way in, they
Yeah.
were very friendly.
No, I can't wait to go back. I wanna go back and see all of our people.
When's that happening?
We need to do it soon.
We do.
We do.
We
And
do.
if anyone's listening from London and wants to have a meeting, just tell us.
If anybody's listening from London and you don't call us, oh,
Very disappointing.
you're not going to be invited to our Olympics.
Or Olympics. What are you watching today? What do you got anything else on the TV today?
Well,
Men's soccer won. That was great.
oh, we did?
Yeah.
See, there we go. You say the men's soccer won. You don't even need to identify the country.
Yeah,
I say we did,
yeah.
right? There's
We
that's the thing
it's an
about the
us.
Olympics. Like if if the Chicago team beats the New York team, okay, but
They and they. They
but
won. They won.
they.
Mhm.
But this is all we. That's what makes the Olympics special.
It is. It's all about us.
It's
I'm
all we.
excited about the Olympics coming back to America. You see that it's going back to Salt Lake? in
It's coming
2000.
back to Los Angeles in 4 years.
It is, but then the winner is going back to Salt Lake in
Yeah, in
2030 something.
32, 32. You know, uh, I'm gonna go to the LA Olympics, God
Yeah,
willing,
we're gonna go
God
to
willing.
the World Cup when it comes to town.
Where's that?
It's coming to America next year, I think, or the year
In a
after.
number of locations?
All over, yeah, Mexico to Canada, but
Uh-huh.
it'll be at the Cowboy Stadium a couple times.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you should
Yeah,
absolutely go. Do you like soccer?
we love soccer.
Okay.
We
Oh,
love
yeah,
soccer.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're
You're a
big.
soccer family. You got a soccer star in your
Yes,
family.
I do. I
Mhm.
do.
You gonna
We're
shout her
big.
out here or no?
Do what
You gonna shout her out or what?
for my daughter? Yes,
Yes.
my daughter tries out for the Olympic Development Program Sunday. So we go down to Austin, and she's going to try out for that. She's of age now where she can, and uh, should be fun. Should be fun. But she just got into junior high, and so she's doing cheerleading, volleyball, soccer, basketball, and that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Who does she take after athletically?
Well,
This
I
must
like to.
be this must be
I
Mrs. Boyd.
I made JV my senior year for the discus and shot put. And, they even let me have the varsity warm-ups because they felt so bad for me, but they still put me on the JV team. And I stayed. I competed at JV my senior year.
That's great. That's a wonderful story.
So she doesn't take after me.
No, not at all.
No. My brother, however, went to college. He went to college, and did track at college. Maybe it's in my bloodline. It just missed me.
I, so anyways, I'm gonna watch some, women's gymnastics today.
Have you watched
Uh,
the rugby?
no, I have heard such good things. You're like
Oh,
the 5th person who's told me,
I'm
"You
into
gotta watch
rugby.
rugby,
America, they got the ringer. I don't remember her name. I watched
women's rugby."
Australia. Women and men, they're both great. They're both great. But I just caught the women's Australian team the other day, and I watched the women's team, and they're killing it. The water polo, what an awful sport. I mean, I would never want to play water polo. Shout out to those people who do it. It looks awful, but it's so
Water
much fun to
polo
watch.
is hard.
It's unbelievable. And under the water, the punches and the kicks and
Uh-huh.
oh
You're
no,
going
thank you.
after each other all the time. You're trying to drown the other guy.
Yeah, it looks and the women are just as mean as the men, and, like,
Yeah,
everyone is
it's a
at each
mean
other.
it is a mean sport of
Yeah.
which a yeah, I'm out on
One
that.
of the favorites that we watch these days, my wife watches every minute of the Olympics that she can, and, beach volleyball. Beach volleyball is the one that kind of always is on late in the evening, always watching beach volleyball, and that is a
Maybe
athletic sport.
maybe one of the most remarkable athletic
Unbelievable.
feats. I
To
was
move,
watching
I don't know how they do it.
I was watching, I think it's 6 people play on the team
Oh,
volleyball.
yeah, that team volleyball is
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
These people on one side are spiking the ball at,
Mhm.
like, 100 and some miles an hour, and
Oh,
people
yeah.
are blocking it and putting it back up.
Yeah. Shout
First of all,
out to America
I'd move out
today.
of the way. I'd get
Uh,
out of the way.
America beat Germany in 5 sets or 5 games, 5 sets maybe? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What
Yeah, I
about
saw
tennis? Do you watch tennis?
I have not watched tennis yet, but I know that
Oh,
there's been some good things.
we live and breathe tennis in my family. My oldest son is a tennis player, and, we, absolutely love Nadal and Alcaraz playing
Mhm.
doubles together, and I don't
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
it, but I hear about it,
Did they
and
win?
they won today. They went to a tie break, and they came out and won, and it is a blast to get to watch those 2 guys play. Nadal, of course, lost to Djokovic the other day in the singles, but them playing doubles together is unbelievable because 'cause they're not
Mm,
doubles players. So even when they
right,
hit it, they're hitting it in the single lines,
right.
but they're it's just so much fun to watch. So much
Yeah,
fun to watch.
yeah. It's hard to imagine that they wouldn't win, but it goes to show you that
They're
doubles
not
is its
doubles
own
players.
it's its own game. It's a
It's
different
its
game.
own game. It's like, I
Right,
don't know, going against pickleball player. Like, it's a different line, different
right.
size, different Yeah.
Right.
But they're having a blast. They're laughing, they're joking. That's what makes it so much fun. They're just enjoying it. It's good.
So how are we doing here on this little?
We're good, man. I guess.
We're 20 minutes in, right there. Boom.
Yeah, so we can be done, right?
As far as I'm concerned.